SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back. Today we will talk about musculoskeletal discomfort survey, which is introduced and mainly used by National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH. Okay, so this method is very preliminary in nature and it is a survey kind of thing, and people use it at the basic level to identify the prevalence data of musculoskeletal disorder or discomfort. So this method initially started as a questionnaire. However, right now this remains this we use as a gold standard, like we use it for any population, any occupation, to identify the basic preliminary understanding of musculoskeletal disorder or discomfort. So let us understand the procedure and the background of this particular method or tool. So it's a self-report musculoskeletal discomfort survey, and it is generally accepted as a risk factor for musculoskeletal disorder. So from this particular questionnaire or particular survey method, we try to understand that what are the body parts or body locations which is having a prevalence of musculoskeletal discomfort, along with the associated causal factors. So these discomfort measures are also used to evaluate the ergonomic interventions, because it gives a direction, or as a screening tool in the context of hazard surveillance to detect exposure to workplace physical stressors. So we know in my earlier MOOCs course, I introduced you to varieties of musculoskeletal disorder stressors. Mainly from the occupational perspective, we have major 6 stressors. So from this particular survey, what we try to understand, we get some indication what are the stressors are causing for this type of musculoskeletal discomfort in a particular population or particular set of occupation. Okay, so these are the major areas, body parts that we will be looking for, or we will try to get evaluated, that where the problem is. It may be single body part or it may be multiple body part. So these methods or this particular survey that combined the body map. Okay, so we will talk about body map. So it is associated with a body map. Without body map, we will not be able to use this survey, and the rating scale to access discomfort in multiple body region. So the body map used in NIOSH studies are very close to standardized diagram that is used in distinguished various upper and lower extremity body region. We will go for it. We will check what this body part or a body map is all about. Okay, so mainly these are the body region: neck, shoulder, elbow, hand, wrist. Okay, so it's completely hand and this wrist. Okay, we will talk about this together. Upper and lower back. So here we are not discriminating the upper back separately and lower back separately. We will be talking it as a whole trunk, like upper back and lower back, hip and thigh together, knees, ankle and feet together. Okay, so these divisions we will be talking about. We will try to understand the prevalence of musculoskeletal discomfort or disorder or pain in these body parts through this questionnaire. Now, how do we define the location of discomfort? So, musculoskeletal discomfort surveys collect information on the location of discomfort. What? By reference to a specific body regions, either we refer that body region, so by reference to a specific body region, or by use of partial or whole body diagram designating the specific regions to be assessed. Either we mention, okay, this part is paining, this part is paining, or something like that. Okay, so in a whole musculoskeletal system we refer the specific body region, or by using the partial or whole body diagram which has designation, like in a body map, specific regions to be assessed. So we can have, suppose we are talking about some place where we are expecting only upper body may have the discomfort or pain or body ache or something. So maybe we can have a figure where only upper body regions are depicted or designated. Okay. Less commonly, body maps are shaded by respondents to identify the regions or discomfort. So what we do, we ask those body regions to give a shade, okay, or sometimes we ask them to tick also. The number of body regions targeted varies in relation to the interest of the study. So it is not mandatory that same body map that is being used for one study and for the other study we will get the similar pattern of responses. In some cases maybe we are only interested to understand the neck region, so we will be asking question towards only neck, whereas in the other study, in some other case, maybe we do not know that where the problem lies or how do we assess it or all those things. So in that case we will simply ask you, please tell us that subject we are going to ask them, the respondent, we are going to ask them that you specify where the problem is. So both the cases same body map, however the responses are different. Two different display formats are used for identifying body parts in NEOS study. First one, all of the 10 upper extremity studies, partial body diagrams provide multiple views of designated regions of interest. So multiple view, maybe from the front side, side view, top, all these things it is possible, or only a single attribute of discomfort is rated. Possible to target all regions of interest in a single integrated diagram with a space of recording rating with each designated region. Okay, so that way also maybe we can collect data. So both way we can collect data. Now let's see how it looks like. Maybe this way for partial body diagram, maybe we can say from a front side and from a back side we are talking about shoulder region, right, neck shoulder region. So this we can use this type of diagrams, okay, together. Or if we are not sure, the study objective says it is like we are not sure where the target area is, then maybe we can use this type of diagram where it is showing the whole body. Here it's very important thing for this diagram, the picture is from back side, not from your front side. So you are talking about lower back or upper back, not the chest. So it is very important for us to know when we are talking about musculoskeletal disorder or discomfort, the body map that we are going to refer is from the back side. The picture is from the back side of the human. Okay, again both type of things. Here it is only shoulder and elbow neck region. Some cases maybe our target is elbow, maybe we can do that kind of shading depending on our requirement, depending on the study we can have any figure. Okay, so both the cases it is possible for us to use. Now how do we talk about musculoskeletal disorder, or how do we understand it, how do we inquire it? So mainly 4 terminologies, rather we will talk about 6 more terminologies that we are trying to understand or describe this particular survey. First is pain. Is there any pain? Is there any pain in your neck? Is there any discomfort in your elbow or wrist? So pain, botherness, discomfort and problem. So these are the major 4 terminologies that we are going to use for this for describing the discomfort survey. Then what I would like to tell you about this particular survey is that it not only identify the problematic area, it also try to give you an understanding the severity of that identified problem. Now how do we do that? We use varieties of scale to understand what is the severity. Suppose a person who is working in a computer or maybe in his or her work days, reporting that yes, he or she is having some neck problem, neck trouble. Now the second person of like the maybe the other colleague, he or she also is saying yes, the problem persists, like they have neck issues. Now concern is we only know they have problem, but if we can't discriminate the severity of the problem, then we may not be able to go further in research or in analysis that how these problems are coming. Okay, so if you have a severity understanding of that particular problem along with the duration of exposure, the personal risk factors, the work habits and all, then definitely you can try to do lot of statistical analysis like correlation, association and all those things, and try to get an understanding that what are the causal factor to have such kind of discomfort or disorder or problem. Okay, so this NEOS discomfort survey also gives an understanding about the severity of the problem. The survey also asks about the presence and severity of a problem in a specific location. It also asks the respondent to qualify. So severity in terms of particular scale, maybe you are trying to give some kind of quantification, right? Also it try to qualify what is the varieties of problem. Maybe it is a problem, the problem what? Is it burning sensation? Is it some kind of stiffness or tingling? But all these 3 are problem, right? All these three can be categorized as the musculoskeletal disorder, musculoskeletal discomfort, right? But through this particular questionnaire we can also try to understand what is the type of problem. Okay, so symptoms categorization, mainly we look for burning, stiffness and tingling. Now this survey talks about pain, aching, like when we start with the questions, stiffness, burning, numbness and tingling. So the survey begins with a single question. So we should start somewhere, right? So it starts with a single question that screens for the presence of one or more among these 6. It can be one symptom or it can be 2 or 3 or all 6 symptoms. 6 symptoms is very rare, it is not really, then it's like it's very severe case. We may not get such cases, maybe 1 or 2. Okay, so among all these symptoms in each body region. So you have a body map, you have 6 symptoms, you ask where these problems are. Maybe you are getting an answer, neck you have pain, whereas in elbow you have tingling. Both are musculoskeletal disorder or discomfort indication, right? So but symptoms are different, type of musculoskeletal disorders are different, right? So from here you are getting an understanding of what are the possible varieties of problem are and what may be the causal factors for all those things and what is the kind of severity they have in this particular case. So this looks very simple tool, however it's very important and it gives very detailed screening of your population if you are talking about musculoskeletal disorder, if your research is oriented on the topic of musculoskeletal disorder. Now an affirmative, once that is done, then we go for more detailing. So an affirmative response is then followed by a rating on this particular problem. One is duration, from when, how long these problems are. So duration, we try to understand the duration. Frequency, how frequently these problems are, and then severity or intensity. So mostly we use varieties of scale. Now these scale definitions or utilizations of scales are not fixed, okay. You, based on your research interest, you can use 5-point scale, you can use yes no, sorry, not yes no, 5-point rating scale, 7-point rating scale, maybe simple visual analog scale. It's absolutely depend what is your research interest, okay. So I'll just give some example. Okay, so here this is normally being used, so you can use this as well as you can have your own scale. When we are talking about discomfort duration, that how long these discomforts are, so maybe we can talk about a 7-point scale where it is less than 1 hour, 1 to 24 hours, more than 24 hours to means 1 day to 1 week, 1 week to 2 weeks, maybe more than 2 weeks to a month, or more than 1 or like 1 or 2 months, or more than 2 months or year. So that way you can categorize the duration of discomfort, okay. So how long you are having this problem, okay. You said yes, you have shoulder pain. Now from when you have this shoulder pain, so you should have some kind of description, right? So maybe you can use this description, whereas if your study objectives are not going to help you, is not in the direction of duration of exposure, maybe you can have simple answer that yes, you have a problem. Okay, it's absolutely based on your research objective. It is not always that you should use this, okay, based on your idea, your research objective. Similarly for the frequency, maybe very rarely it is actually going to cross check that prevalence data, is it point prevalence, is it weekly prevalence, or it is annual prevalence. What type of prevalence it is? So to understand that, this type of data actually is going to help you. So almost never, very rarely, sometimes, frequently, and almost always. So you can understand the frequency of discomfort. And the intensity is like, we can divide it as a no pain, mild pain, moderate pain, severe pain, and worst pain. Okay, that way you can have, or you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point scale where no demarcation, or maybe extreme left is 0, that is no discomfort, and extreme right is extreme discomfort or maximum possible discomfort, and you ask them to rate it in 5 scale. That is also possible. So it's absolutely up to you how you are going to use it. When we are talking about this NIOSH survey, so several NIOSH surveys also incorporate questions asking about medical follow-up. We do a check, we try to understand that how severe it is. So do you take medication about it? Okay, if you have a neck pain, do you take medicine for it or not? So we try to sometime understand that. Okay, and effects of discomfort on the performance. So such questions are also included in this particular survey. Now it's your choice that would you like to incorporate in your study or not. A series of questions to ascertain the work relatedness of this type of discomfort, like onset in relation to current employment. Okay, so suppose somebody is working in a particular job for a year. Okay, now you can, and right now the person is having neck pain. So you can ask, is this pain is started after you joined this particular job, or it was before that also? So maybe you can have some kind of indication, whereas it is not confirmatory part. Okay, you cannot confirm that only because of this job he or she is having the problem. Now for that you need to go more detail, but you can have some kind of indication. Or prior traumatic, so it may happen you had an injury, maybe an accident or some bigger trauma, and that may get aggravated because of your job. So you really need to identify where the problem started, because a weak muscle group or weak musculoskeletal system will respond very easily, or will get more effect from the occupational hazard or those stressors. So if your muscles are weak, if your musculoskeletal system is weak, it is more prone to develop such kind of symptoms. So if you have injury beforehand, then your frequency, intensity, all these things will get aggravated. Okay, so these type of information also we will get from this particular survey. The case definition most commonly employed by NIOSH requires satisfaction of all the following criteria. First, discomfort within past year, means last 1 year. What is the kind of discomfort? Discomfort began after employment in this current job. No prior accident or sudden injury, and discomfort episodes occur monthly or the duration exceeds a week. So such cases only you take it for more detail. So here when we try to understand the who are going to be part of my study, like who are going to be subject of my study, in that case we create the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So if we talk about musculoskeletal discomfort survey from NIOSH, we will take only those healthy human being who is not having any prior injury, because if you are having prior injury, you are already in a vulnerable zone, right? So you will not be able to give we will not be able to get proper data or validated data. So that cases we will not take. Maybe the specifically when we are talking about pregnant women, okay, so for them the typical responses are different, right? Like, they are more vulnerable towards musculoskeletal disorder. So for a common survey or for a particular workplace, if we try to do, maybe we will exclude them from the original study. Maybe we can have separate study for them, but we will not include those subject to in your study. Also, if the person is under some complicated medication or some kind of medication which may have an extra impact on the musculoskeletal system, in that case also we need to exclude those subjects. So before we start any such survey, we should select our inclusion and exclusion criteria for these subjects to take part in the NIOSH musculoskeletal survey, discomfort survey. Okay, so that is very important. Also, physical examination can be conducted as an additional step, because if already there is some physical disability, physical discomfort, they may not be as same as the other person, right? So in that case we can have a separate study for them, but not in the target population, not as a target population. Okay, so we can have this type of prerequisite to start the musculoskeletal discomfort survey. So what is the kind of quality we will get? So discomfort survey need to be practical to use. So this quick and easy to administer, very easy if you have some basic understanding of ergonomics and the musculoskeletal disorder or discomfort, you can easily use this particular tool. With a variety of population, very important thing, with variety of population. So maybe literate person also can participate, illiterate person also can participate. A person from the low socio-economic background also can participate. People from very high socio-economic background also can participate. Children can participate, elder can participate, adult also can participate, male can participate, female can participate. So the range is very high. It's very easy. So any case you can use this particular method. Now here one important thing is, it is readily analyzed. Why? Because it gives only the, is it present or not, if it is present, at what degree, right? So you can have very easy calculation. So musculoskeletal disorder, the thing is, it is not, we may not have it on the spot, right? It takes time to develop. So if you are saying yes, today you have a neck pain, definitely the causal factor is not immediate. It must have started many years. Okay, it takes time to settle this particular problem to set. Okay, so from this particular type of survey, whatever data we are getting, we can easily convert them into percentage, and it is very easy for us to get an understanding and analyze the data. They also need to demonstrate acceptable psychometric properties, reliability and validity. It is tested for this type of survey, and it is proved that it is very easy, it is very reliable and validated method for any occupation, for any age group, for any socioeconomic background, for any cases. Okay, so you can use it. Now if we try to summarize it, we would like to see this particular survey of musculoskeletal discomfort vary widely among many dimensions. The time frame for assessment, that when it is being assessed, assessment of qualitative aspects like intensity, temporal characteristics and all, scaling methods employed from a binary scale, yes or no, the spelling is wrong, yes, it's yes, okay, yes or no, choice of, you can have box scale along with it. The derivation of summary indicates the discomfort, because once you summarize it, it gives an understanding about your discomfort. And NIOSH survey is sensitive to wide range of physical stressors across many occupation. So this is very important. So you can it's like you can use it from A to Z category. So it's very easy. So that's all for NIOSH musculoskeletal survey. We will take another discomfort survey, that is the DMQ, Dutch Musculoskeletal Questionnaire, in next class. Thank you.